Oh, the very first one you killed?
Being a doctor, every dead body you see, if you're going to cry, when you're emotionally pitched up, 30% of US healthcare bill means over $1 trillion. You understand? That is half of India's economy. Anyway, he's going to die, don't treat him. If it's my life, I must decide this, isn't it?
Guru, in the medical wards, when we come across our first patient death, we are very moved.
Oh, the very first one you killed?
Obviously. Our first death of a patient, we are very moved. But gradually, as we come across, if and when we do come across more deaths, we become very nonchalant and unperturbed. Do you think this desensitization towards death in the medical profession is compromising our humanity?
If you're nonchalant, definitely. But being a doctor, every dead body you see, if you're going to cry, then that's going to be a very big problem. Because when you're emotionally pitched up, you cannot do things sensibly. Everybody knows this, isn't it? So very important. Well, if somebody is dying of old age, it's a different matter. But a whole lot of people might have come to you because of injury, because of some other ailment, something fit enough to live, but you have to do the right things for them to live. So if your heart is pumping hard when you see your patient breathing hard, then you will definitely do something to kill him. It's very important that you learn to treat it as professionally as possible. This doesn't mean you're nonchalant. Nonchalant is not the word. Unperturbed, but concerned that you must live. The way you're addressing the question, I'm not picking on you. The way you're addressing the question is a doctor is supposed to see lots of deaths. Doctor should see minimum number of deaths on their table. Hello? That's a good thing. And anyway, this whole thing about people coming to hospital to die is not a good thing. Mortality is a certain thing, right? All of us are going to die. So people need not go to hospital to die. People should learn to die gracefully. All other creatures die like this. They all realize when they're going to die and they will move to one place, sit quietly, they won't eat anything and they will die. Right now, in United States, the statistics says, tell me if I'm wrong about the statistics, 30% of the healthcare bills are in the last 1 year of someone's life. 10% of the healthcare bill is in the last 22 days of one's life. 30% of US healthcare bill means over $1 trillion. You understand? That is half of India's economy. That much is being spent in the last 1 year, largely lying down in one place, not able to move, not able to do anything, once in a way open your eyes and close your eyes for this. And it's torture for that person, absolute torture. Doctors may think they are treating, they are, of course, that's their intention, but patient's experience is torture. Yes or no? We are willing to go through some torture if there is a lease of certain number of years to live. But there is no point going through torture if hospital bed is the only place I can be and I will last for another 3 months and die. Better go 3 months early. Hello? Now this may sound like, oh, I'm saying let them die. That's not the point. That is not the point. The point is just this, both for the living and the dying, it becomes extremely difficult this 1 year, isn't it? Hello? It becomes it's not only for the dying, for the living also. And above all, for the person who is dying, we are just torturing that man endlessly. and he doesn't know whether he can live or not. So, these are dangerous things to talk about, because then people may start taking a call, okay, anyway he's going to die, don't treat him. That's not the point. Within the medical system, there must be a guideline, how far to go to rescue a life, how far do you go? Right now we have taken this thing that we must go all the way, it doesn't matter, he's just collapsing, but we won't leave him. It is also very important he dies gracefully, isn't it? Hello? Is it not important? But nobody can die gracefully when there are so many doctors around. I'm not trying to comment on this, but what I'm telling you is, we have built this culture now. Right from ancient times in this country, when we see that somebody is dying, people came, chanted something, whatever they believe in, put him not in the house, just outside so that he feels free, fresh air and everything. Everybody sit there, wait, chant something, let him go out of old age. If you take him to the hospital, he may last another week, 10 days, but he will go through torture. So there must be concern for that person, for that life which wants to exit. These are very hard decisions to make because crime may happen. All kinds of criminal stuff may happen if you take a call on this. But as human beings, our humanity should decide this. Not our principles, not our laws, not something else. Our basic humanity must decide these things. But the way it is going right now in the Western world, and slowly that is very much happening here, this needs to be looked at because nearly 80% of the people, I don't know, at least in United States, I think 80% of the people die under medical care, at least. So, they are not dying well. They are just dying with lots of pain, lots of injections, lot of this thing, do this, do that. No, there is a point beyond which… First of all, this is not built into people's lives. In this culture, yogis especially, when they feel they have done their work, they just sat in one place and they left. If that much wisdom is not there, at least one must understand within himself. This is also for that person I'm saying. If you leave it to your relative, he cannot say, I won't get you treated. If you leave it to your doctor, he cannot say, I won't treat you, it's time you die. Somebody else cannot decide this. If it's my life, I must decide this, isn't it? But sometimes I may not be in a condition to decide this. This is a complex affair, but we need to revisit this without creating opportunity for crime, without creating opportunity for people to misuse this. It is definitely something that we need to revisit this and look at this carefully. If… I'm not talking about euthanasia or something, but at least allowing somebody to die peacefully. When 30% of the healthcare bill is going for the last 1 year, where they're immobile in the bed, what's the point of this? It's not just about money, it's about the nation, it is about the society. $1 trillion healthcare bill, if you give it to India, this country is finished. That is just for 300 million people. This is for 1.4 billion people. So, these things need revisiting. But the problem is, the moment we open the subject, for and against, people will start screaming. Everywhere they're screaming. In the news channels they're screaming, political platforms they're screaming, activists are screaming, social media screaming. You cannot say anything sensible in the country. It's become like this because everybody are vested interest groups constantly screaming. If you quieten the screaming people, I'm sure we can form committees in every hospital, some kind of a board, which comes, examines not an individual doctor, but a group of people who take a call, whether it's worth pushing this man endlessly or letting him go. A responsible group can take this call.